Hello, Purple Rosa here, and in this one I'll be doing a behind the scenes look at my Mystical Mage Tower that I made and put together myself. So I'll just be talking about what inspired this, how I did certain things, and yeah, just a look at how I came up with this build. I have always wanted to make a mage tower, and it was never really possible until the Solitude furnishings came out. So I could have made one previously with the Eleanor or the elsewhere walls, but the Eleanor ones are not the type of walls that I wanted to use to make a tower. Same with the elsewhere ones, because they're a more yellowish stone, and the Eleanor ones are way too small. So yeah, with the Solitude furnishings, it's the right stone texture that I wanted to use to make a tower. Now, as I said, I've always wanted to make a tower, and I didn't really plan this one through. One day I woke up and I was like, I want to make a tower. So I jumped onto the public test server, and yeah, that's what I did. The first thing I worked out when I was making this tower, I originally wanted to have this tower like maybe here, but with how I eventually set it out, it didn't fit here, and I thought once I had the ground floor down, I played around with where I wanted to put it, and I eventually put it up there. But yeah, the first thing I did was I worked out the ground floor and how I would lay that out. So I started building it here over the water. I used two of these Solitude platforms that I just built on. So I had one here and I had another one there, just so I could work around it easily and get the layout. So the first bit I did was this bit, the front entrance. So while I was playing around with this, I'll just unlink them just to show you. I first played around with these Solitude curved walls, and I actually tried to do a typical round type tower, but when I linked them all up, it's a bit small, as you can see. You'd barely be able to fit furniture items in with the stairs going up, let alone levels. So I came up with this design because you need that entrance doorway to get in. So it's not a typical round tower, but it does have the curved walls. So yeah, I came up with this bit, and then I still thought it was a bit too small. So I added a back area here, which was originally just going to be the bit here. So two curved walls there. And then I was just going to have a straight wall there. I think I do have some spares. Yeah, I was going to have some straight walls there, but I don't have any more furniture slots. But you get the idea. And I still thought it was too small, so I scrapped that idea and added the back area here. And I was happy with that because then I worked out that the staircase to the upper levels would go here and around. once I had the ground floor all closed in, I started just to do the second floor, just putting the wood planks down, and I did the staircase. Once I had that all worked out, I had all these linked together, so I'll just relink those. And I was moving it up here. I didn't have this staircase and that built yet, but you can still walk up here without it. So yeah, I came up here and I was positioning it in different positions on how it would work best, and I came up with putting it here, and I'll just go inside because the entrance here is lower than the back. I had to bring the back up a bit because down here, I'll just remove these, there is the hilly surface here, which I'll remove those plants, which I had to move just the back part floor of the base here up a bit, because yeah, otherwise the floor, just an example, it would have clipped through, which I didn't want. So yeah, I had to move it up because of that and work around the terrain, which worked well. So yeah, when I had it planned on setting it down here, I then worked out doing the second floor. Just by putting the platforms down. So I used two of the Elsewhere wall rough woodens just to fill in the space here and to fill in through here. And I'll just remove these carpets. The floor is a bit of a mess, as you can see, because I had to use these other Elsewhere wooden platforms, because as I used the curved walls, I had to place them just right so that you do not see them through the walls on the outside, but some of them still do in some spots. Like you can see there's a bit sticking there. I just covered those with vines, and where the curve there meet, there's some sticking out. I will show you actually. So I'll remove those vines. Like as you can see, there's a platform sticking out there, which I just covered with vines and you don't see it. It's the same kind of here, like you can see a platform just there sticking out. I also covered that in vines. And yeah, you can see one there which I didn't cover, but it's not really a big deal. And the fireplace inside on the second floor kind of sticks out a bit. And yeah, you just cover those with vines or other flowers or plants to hide those imperfections. So once I had the lower floor done, as I said, I just built the tower up. I did the second floor, then the third floor, and then the fourth floor, which is the very top. And yeah, with the staircase here, I did use a few of these limestone stairways because, as you can see, that node's in the way. Hold on. There's gaps there, so I had to use multiple just to fill in those gaps. Like one, I'll just move that for a sec. there's one here, but I can't grab it. And yeah, I had to do that just to cover in those gaps. It's like this one's fine, but here I had to use multiple to fill in those gaps there, just to make it look more perfect. And because these limestone stairs, they still have that look underneath, having multiple to fill it in, you don't really notice it. Like up here, I did the same. Still looks all natural and closed in. Once I had this main staircase from the ground floor to the second floor worked out, it was easy just to continue that up. And yeah, I copied that method all the way up to the upper floors. So I kind of knew when I was building this tower, like I just kept building up, and I worked out that this would be bedroom, and it would have the roof like that, because it is, I guess you'd call it like an add-on, or like the main tower, and then they built this other area as an addition to that. So yeah, I decided this would be like the living area with the fireplace and where you'd sit. This fireplace, I originally was going to have it over here, but because the top bit here clips into the second floor, which I'll show you when I get up there, it was hard to do that over there because yeah, it clipped through. And with my kitchen downstairs below me here, it made sense because you've got the oven cooking area down there, and then yeah, the fireplace above that. I thought it made sense to have them on the same thing because the chimney outside matches that. And with the chimney, I did put it right there. So like, I know the fireplace is about there and the oven is there, but yeah, you could be like angled up to go out up there, the smoke, if that makes sense, just to make it seem more realistic. So yeah, I did that like that because I thought it was logical. And as I said, the fireplace does clip into the level above here, but I did hide it very well because I put this cabinet wall here. As you can see, the fireplace clips through to this third floor. So yeah, I just covered that, and then you could still see it, so I added a chest. And even with the chest there, you could still see it, so I just put a puzzle box there just to hide that. And yeah, with the fireplace too, I did want it here, but because I had this stone garden tank here, you could still see it clipping through. And then I did try to have the fireplace there, but it also clipped through. Like, I had it back a bit more, and I have had the desk forward more, but I thought it weird to have the fireplace there because where would the smoke escape? So yeah, I relocated it and it ended up staying there. And I think it was a good place to put the fireplace because it's just like a little area here. You can just come sit, read and relax. That book is the Jesus of Tamriel, which a mage wouldn't read, but it's just a book that I could get in the Crown store, the furniture Crown store, so yeah, I chose to put it there, and in my house tour you didn't see what kind of book it was. So yeah, I just made this little cozy area here. But yeah, still on to the actual structure. I continued to build up, working out this level, and then the top level here was harder because I wanted to have like 2 balconies overlooking the landscape here, which was easy to work out because I just left them like this as they are. It was this little structure here on the top that was hard to do because I originally wanted to use I think I deleted it, but it was the Clockwork gazebo. I wanted to use that on the top here, but it didn't fit with how I had set and made this tower. If I do make another tower on the live servers, which I do want to do, I will use this gazebo on the top. I will just design the tower to better fit so I can have the gazebo on the top floor here. But yeah, as you can see, my tower was a bit too small to have it because it overhangs. So I scratched that idea, and yeah, because I needed a doorway here and here, I was like, how am I going to do this and put this together, because I can't use the actual Solitude archways, which I did end up using. I just had to use more of the Solitude wall low stones. I had to use 3 of them on top there to close that in and use the doorways. Yeah, the roof of this top was easy to do because you just have the roofs linked like that, which kind of works well. It's not perfect because the PTS items kept moving. So yeah, doing the top roof, I exactly knew how I wanted to do it because it kind of works well, like with the triangle bit there. And yeah, it was easy to work that out. So yeah, once I had the roof worked out, it was easy to complete the top level here because I knew how I wanted it to be, as I said, with the upper balconies here. It was the doorways that were hard to do, but in the end I worked that out. Like with this side I used 3 more of the low stone walls, and because I couldn't use the archways, because if I had the archway like that, it would have clipped to the level down here, which I didn't want. So yeah, I had to use the low stone walls just to bring the wall down a bit. And with these doors, because the top part of them are curved, I had to, as you saw, I put them upside down and hid that curved part in the floor there, so it just seems like it's a normal square type door, so you don't even know. But you do notice because the door handles are a bit high because the door is upside down, but that doesn't really bother me, and yeah, it still works as a functional doorway. just putting it upside down to hide the curved top, because if I had it normally like this, like when it's closed you don't notice the curved top, but when you open it you do. So I thought it best to put the doorway upside down, and it still works. And I did the same with that one, and you can use that trick for the Solitude door arched wooden here. You just have to also hide the curved top. The doorway is a bit smaller and the door handle does seem a bit low, but it could still be a functional door that you can open and close just by hiding the curved top, and it could still work for you. Continuing on with this upper floor, I wanted the floor to be stone because it made more sense rather than having a wood floor on the outside of this tower. So I tried different platforms that I could use for a stone floor, and I first tried the Merkmeyer one. Well, I didn't try them, I looked at it and I'm like, that's still too thick. Then I looked at some of these and they were too thick and they didn't work. I tried the Solitude Walkway stone, but it was also way too thick to have for an upper level. Otherwise, like as an example, it works fine up here, but if I go down to the level here, the ceiling's a bit too low. Like, it could have worked, but with how enclosed this space is already, the ceiling would have been way too low. So I ended up using more of the Solitude Wall stones. Now, these are not great to use as floors because the bottom bit's thicker than the top bit here, and as you can see, like here, it's not perfectly aligned because it's hard to do so, especially down here, and when you stand on the floor up here it's a bit wonky and the floor isn't flat. Like here you can see the sticking up bit there. Now if you want to replicate this, the effect will be the same for you. The floor won't be perfect, and especially in here, I'll just remove this, sorry, not that, I want the rug. So as you can see, like the floor, it's not great to walk on. Like you got a bit sticking up there, it's not flat, it's like on an angle a bit, but that doesn't really bother me. And if I had spent more time like with the downstairs here, like it's not perfect. You can actually cover that maybe with other wood planks, or you can try and angle these better. Like I'm not sure how that would look on the top floor now. It's actually not too bad. But yeah, because I didn't spend a lot of time making this perfect, because this is a PTS build and they eventually get deleted, so I don't spend the time making it perfect. But when I make my tower on the live servers, which will be similar to this but different, I actually spend that extra time making the build perfect. So yeah, I used the Solitude walls as a floor. It works, it's just not perfect, and you can easily replicate this yourself if you want to use it as a floor. But yeah, it'll never be perfect because, as you can see with how I've angled it, there'll be those bits that are always sticking out, but it can still work. So yeah, the windows, onto the windows. I'll just move the desk out the way. So the windows were harder to do because, like with the main structure I had it built, I had to remove walls that I had put there to fit these windows in. But once you work out how to do the windows, it is very, very easy. So I used the curved walls on the top there, and on the bottom I didn't need to because the lower floor I could use that Solitude wall curved from the bottom level here, which continued up to that top level. But for other windows, like this one, no, not that one. Like this one, I used that Solitude wall low stone on the bottom there, and I used 2 on the top. And you have to use the low wall stones on the sides as well, which does close the windows in really well. And yeah, you've got your window there. So for some of the others, I actually used, like with the curved one I used up there, I probably would have used that down here, and you got that window. Like, I know this window has that gap there, which I noticed when I was recording my house tour, because as I said, I originally had the fireplace there, and I forgot to move the window back down when I removed that. So yeah, for this window over here I didn't need to use a curved low wall because the Solitude wall curved stone from the level below was up here. And yeah, for this window I used the curved wall on the top, for the top there, and the wall low stones on the sides to make that window. And same with the window here, I'll just remove that curtain. And that, I used a curved low wall there. I didn't really need to because I had that curved wall there, but with how I've set up the wall here, I had to add that extra curved wall. I got another curved wall up the top there, more of the low stone walls on the side there, and yeah, got that window there to overlook outside. And yeah, I used the alien grates on the inside because this is a mage tower. I wanted it to be magical. And yeah, because these low walls, like you can notice that it's not perfect around, so I just used curtains around them to kind of hide the imperfections. And this window at the front here, I used a low wall stone on the bottom, low wall stone on the top, low wall stone on the side. Same with that side, and yeah, put the alien great smalls in the middle, and you have your window. And the one down here, this window here, I originally was not going to add because it's just the stairway, but I thought because it looked a little bare outside here just being all stonework, and because this part of the tower has no window in it, I thought it best just to put a window there, which is what I did. So yeah, based on where I put the windows, like I worked out from the outside here where they wanted to be. So I thought it was great to have that one on the 3rd floor there in the study. And then yeah, I came around here just to get a better look of the overall structure once I had it built. And decided to put at least 2 windows in this side of the tower, and I had that one where the fireplace is, and the window I have on the front, I knew I wanted to have that window there because it's where the bedroom is, and it would be where you'd overlook the entrance walkway up to the tower. Same with where the upper floor is there of the tower. So when I worked out that the tower was going to be there, before I did more of the inside and working that out, I didn't stick to a pattern when I was building this. Like, I made the structure and then yeah, I just worked out things along the way. Like if I got stuck, like I came to the bridge and then I go back to the tower, I came to the walkway, then I go back to the tower. I kind of built it all over the place. So the Antiquarian's Lodge, which is the house that I'm in, this part here is already here. Like I'll remove that. So this upper bit here is actually part of the house. I worked around that and actually put a stairway up here, and I thought it was fitting because these bits here work well, and I just put the magical lights there. And yeah, this walkway up here is all custom built using the Solitude stairway stones and the Solitude walkways. So because I went pretty high up with this walkway, and the staircases and platforms didn't actually come down here, I had to get more of the Solitude walkways, which are normally like that, and I put them on the side, and I had to fill in those gaps. And because here there was still a bit of a gap, I just put a rock there just to fill that, and you don't even notice it because you don't really come down here. So I continued that walkway all the way up to where the bridge is. And yeah, on this side I filled in the gap. Like here I didn't, because you don't really see that bit. You just walk up to the tower and you don't even notice that there's a hole there. So yeah, I built it all the way up here, and yeah, the same thing there. The platforms didn't reach down to the ground, so I had to fill that in. And with the tower, because I used vines, I just added an extra vine there just to tie it all in. And yeah, the backside here, I didn't want to waste more slots putting platforms in, so I just used the shrub long amber bayberries just to fill that in, and you don't notice. Like here, there's a big gap there, but you don't really notice it. So yeah, I added a solitude post there because entrance posts here, I thought it fit well to have an extra post there with another blue light on it. They're the Talvani Archlight Organic Azuras. So yeah, because when you walk up here, and then you got the gap bit there, I thought it was fitting to just put a tree there. And yeah, the stairway up to the bridge. Now this bridge was hard to work out at first because I'll just remove these low walls. If I can grab it. Not the candle flies. So yeah, the bridge, I originally just had it like this without those railings on the side, and yeah, I thought it was a bit dangerous because you're right over the waterfall here and you wouldn't want to fall to your death. So I added those in later on. So yeah, for this bridge, I actually did the bridge, I think, before I did the walkway here. Or I at least put in the bridge, and yeah, I had some of the stairs up, but I didn't actually make that walkway yet. But yeah, for the bridge, I used 2 of the Solitude footbridge wood planked. They have filled in the bottom of these now. They used to be empty, which is good, but yeah, because the bridges are small and wouldn't really fit, like with here, I had to add more of the walkway, so I'll just remove them. So as you can see, the bridge would have looked weird just being like that because it's just floating. It's like, where's the support? So I had to add 3 of these Solitude walkway stones on their sides just to add the support. Like, as you can see, the guard's standing there. He's standing on solid stone. So yeah, the bridge isn't going to collapse and fall. I know that might seem weird to make it seem more realistic, but I find that doing that actually helps you to complete the overall build because you want it to seem like it would be a functional bridge or a functional place that someone might actually live in. Once I had the 2 bridges there, I just worked around that and added the walkways on the side. Now I had to use 3 here because if I hadn't had that 3rd one in the middle there, it would have been a bit weird, and I couldn't move that further that way because, as you can see, the main bridge platform there would have clipped through, so I had to use 3. And yeah, I used more of the walkways there, otherwise it seems like the bridge would have still been floating. And yeah, the same on this side here. I just added one of the walkways, which I probably didn't really need to, but I did anyway because as I used them here, I thought it completed the overall look of the bridge. And yeah, because there's that rock here in the middle, let me just link these and move them out the way to show you. So yeah, there was this rock, big rock here in the middle already, and 2 smaller rocks there. It worked well with having the bridge across here, because you still got the water flowing down through there, and like here, like with this middle bit here, it kind of would stop the water flow there, but the water can still flow out these 2 places there, so it still works. And yeah, because it would seem dangerous and you'd fall to your death for sure, or at least jump in the water, I added those Solitude Wall low stones on the side. I'll just place them back. Like, I know they're actually pretty low, like with guard yawn there. You can see he'd probably still fall over, but it just acts as a barrier. It would act as a barrier to stop you falling, and like because the bridge has that hump there, it's not much of a barrier, but I think it closes in the overall look of the bridge and makes it look good, because with the stone supports there, it works well and closes in the overall look of the bridge with all stonework. And yeah, the walkway is wooden, but I still think it looks pretty good, like when you walk across it. So yeah, doing the bridge, once I worked out what angle I wanted to have it over the water and the waterfall, it was easy to then do the walkway up here to the tower. Now, this outside area was, well, it wasn't hard to do, it just took time, because I didn't actually know, like this side bit here, I didn't, like I knew I wanted to have a stairway up here, and something up here, but yeah, I wasn't sure what to put up here, so yeah, this outside courtyard area here, like this side here, you're actually on the edge of this cliff here, so I just used more of those walls to close that in, because as you can see, the platforms I used don't actually go to the ground, so using the walls to close that in was good. And because I still had a little gap here which kind of looks weird, I just used a Solitude wall low there on the side, which still looks weird, but I just put it there because it closes it in. And yeah, this little bit here, I originally did not have it all the way up to the rocks here, because instead I had this low wall here, and then I kind of had it like angles like that, which did work, but it still looked a bit weird because I wanted the area to be a bit bigger and it seemed a bit too small. So I got rid of those two walls I had going there and actually moved it out here because the rocks themselves are a barrier from here to the water, so I didn't need those extra stone walls. So yeah, once I had the little courtyard here worked out, it was easy because up here the terrains goes up that hill, so I added this stairway here. Like, I know there's just a little bit here that has nothing, but I left it like that because it's not that bad, and yeah, you got the vines there, so it kind of covers that little hole there. So yeah, I built up here more of the Solitude walkways, and yeah, continues up here, and then the stone walkway just stops. You come up here to a little overlook where you can sit and just admire the view, admire the waterfall. It's great. And the house down there. But yeah, this overlook area, I wanted to originally have like a magic circle or something up here. At first I tried that alien well, which I ended up using on the top floor. I'll just retrieve it. But I thought it just looked weird. And then I tried, was one of the new Craglawn Altar of Celestial Convergence. I wanted to have that up here. But again, I thought it looked a bit weird. Oh, sorry. Thought it looked a bit weird just sitting up there. So I scratched the idea of having a magic circle up here. But yeah, the terrain up here makes it difficult to have that there. So I scratched that idea and I just put a little sitting area up here, and because on the top floor I had that alchemist type area with the plants and mushrooms, I added like another plant box here, which I thought fit well. And yeah, I knew because this is the overlook area, I wanted another big tree up here, and yeah, because I had mushrooms in this planter box, I just saw these ones in the Furniture Crown store and I was like, I'll add those on the tree. And I think it fits well. So I talked about the roof of the top, but yeah, as you can see, the side tower roof is really badly done. Because it was hard to work out how to do it. Like, it fits and works well on the inside, just yeah, the outside, it looks horrible. Up another level. So yeah, on the inside it looks good and works, just yeah, the outside. Same with the one down here. works well on the inside, but the outside it does not. As you can see. Like here, it would kind of work, but yeah, it looks a bit weird. I'm sure if I had spent more time on the roofs, I could have made them look better, especially this tower one here. Like, I'll just link those together. I think that's all that I used. Yeah. So as you can see, the roof isn't perfect. And yeah, for the top I used one of the elsewhere platforms, otherwise it would have been open to the elements, which you don't want. But yeah, no matter what you use to make a tower, it'll always be awkward and difficult to do the roofs. Like, as I said, it works on the inside. Just the outside looks horrible. But, yeah. Well, it's not horrible, it's just bad. Like, I could have maybe moved that central one over a bit. But yeah, it still looks a bit weird. But yeah, no matter what you do, doing roofs on a round tower will always look weird and bad on the outside. So yeah, especially the front tower here, the roof is by no means perfect. So I'll just grab those. So yeah, that's all of them. Next time I make a tower, I'll actually spend more time to make the roofs look perfect. Like, it does work on the inside, just not the outside. Like, I did try to make it work. Like, the front here does not look too bad. It's just the side bit here, but especially the top bit that closes in the top there. Otherwise it would be exposed to the elements. But yeah, the roof up there, as I said, it does look bad, but it's not terrible, and it does achieve the purpose. But yeah, when you're working with curved walls, the roof will always be difficult to do, but because we now have these Solitude shed roofs, it makes it easier to do roofs now because we actually have roof structures to work with, compared to before when we just had to work with the elsewhere floors or the other rough wooden floors, which really didn't work. So yeah, this tower is full of imperfections, and I used the fines to cover this up. And yeah, once you have the main structure built, it's easy to decorate the inside. So, as I wanted this to be a mage tower, I just chose the vampiric furniture. Like, I know it's doesn't really fit with the mage, but I wanted to use the new vampiric furniture in a build, so I chose to use that style in this interior. And the vampiric furniture works well with the Eleanor furniture as well, because I used some Eleanor chairs with the vampiric furniture. And yeah, the floor, as you can see, it's not perfect on the bottom here, but it didn't really bother me because I was just testing out these structures. If I was doing a real build, I'd work out something else to use or actually cover it up with something else, I'm not sure. But yeah, because the floors are not perfect, I just use rugs to cover them up. I use a mix of Solitude carpets and rugs and the vampiric ones in the bigger areas, because these vampiric carpets are huge and it fit well in this main central area. So yeah, I worked out this entrance area and decorated it accordingly. So yeah, as this is a mage tower, they'd probably get regular deliveries of magical items or components and stuff like that. So I just added some crates and that there. Same with the outside here, just to fill the space. Just more crates, a dragon skull, which the mage might actually study. So yeah, the entrance hallway, like a little sitting area here, like if they get visitors, they can sit down here and talk to them if they need the mage's help or something like that. And yeah, just other knickknacks and things around. And because the wall's not perfect there, which you can easily see, I did have that aligned properly, but stuff on the PTS does move when you leave or come back to a house. So I just left them and covered them kind of with these tapestries. And yeah, once I had the entrance hallway worked out, I knew I wanted this to be the main dining room. And the kitchen here, using more of the vampiric cabinet walls. Like, I know it says they're a wall cabinet, but they work well. Like, you can sink in the bottom there, which is what I did. And yeah, they'd be good kitchen benches or just as cupboards. And yeah, you can have them sitting on the floor like that, or like the entrance one. I actually put it upside down, so you got the cabinet doors on the bottom and just like a little place here where you place things. So because with how I have the stairs going up, I had just this little area here which was empty, which I could have closed in with a wall, but I was like, I could use it as a place where they just store food or other items. So that's what I did. It's where they store their food. And yeah, you got the kitchen here, which I kind of was going to make separate with a wall, but because this is a small mage tower already, I didn't want it to look too enclosed. So I kind of left it open and just added a cabinet here, which kind of closes it off but still leaves that open feeling. So yeah, I've got the kitchen here. I just added in food items, placing them down, making it look like they'll be using it to prepare food. And yeah, the dining room was easy to work out here. Just put bread and cheese down and a little knife there. Some grapes. Still giving it that mage feeling by having the floating light there. Yeah, coming up to the floor, to the second level, I still had more of these Talvani sconces, which I mainly have on the inside where the stairs are and on the outside entrance here, and I've got some up on the very top of the tower, which I'll show you. So yeah, the second level, I knew immediately I wanted this to be the bedroom, and the bed, I was originally going to have it like there, but I ended up putting it there because I wanted to add another desk in here, and if the bed was there, it looks weird with the painting, like, because the walls are curved, the painting already looks weird on the wall, so I ended up putting the bed here on the side, and yeah, just the, I think I had that chest there, I didn't put it back. And yeah, just the bath here. And yeah, the wardrobe, mirror where they'd get dressed, but a mage probably wouldn't care much about looking good, I don't know. But I added that in anyway. And yeah, just a high elf tapestry gilded up there just to cover that empty stone wall there. And I think it fits well because tapestries were used in old castles and towers as insulators to keep heat in, because old castles and towers didn't have the insulation in the walls or roofs that our houses have today. So that's why old castles and towers had a lot of tapestries in them, because they were used as insulators. So I thought it fitting to add a couple of those in just to make it look more realistic, and it also gives it a more comfortable and homey feeling, if that makes sense. So yeah, I knew this was going to be the bedroom, and then on this level I also wanted to add a second guest type bedroom, but it didn't work out because with the tower being small and enclosed already, if I had added another wall in, it would just seem too enclosed already. Like if I did add another bedroom like in here, it would have been way too small. So I scratched that idea, and I just have one bedroom where the mage would sleep, and I made up a story because this tower is overlooking the Antiquarian's Alpine Lodge down there. That lodge might be like an inn or a tavern or something like that, where people would come to stay and rest, and if they needed the help of the mage of the tower here, they could actually come up and request their aid or something like that. Not really a backstory, I know, but it's just something I made up just to fit in with the tower being on the cliff here overlooking that house. So yeah, the second bedroom, I scratched that idea and I just added a small sitting area here, which works. And yeah, more mage type items around. Like that's just one of the trophies you get from a dungeon or a trial. I think it was one of the trials. So yeah, I just added another sitting area with more books and that around. and the Hyrule doll. I know I've used that in my Stillwater's Lodge build that I did because I just like it. I don't know why. It's cute and creepy. If you've done Hyruna's quest in Greymore, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll understand why it would be in a mage tower. Because they're studying the doll. Yeah, I just like it. I'm probably going to use that in every build that I do from now on. Just as a little Easter egg. And yeah, the fireplace I had to add in just to make it seem more cozy. And outside, I'll also mention I added a tree. Like I'll go out, like this tree here, just up to that window. Just to give it more of a nice feeling, because as you saw, when you're at this window you kind of look out, you can see the tree swaying, and yeah, I thought just that fit really well there. So on to the third level, which I made the library and kind of like area where you'd study magical items. So I've got the library over here with all the books here. I originally had all of these books on this side, but because I ended up putting that fireplace there, it didn't work because you would have still seen that through those bookcases, so I moved them to this side. Now I used the vampiric bookcase tall filled and the vampiric bookcase short filled. So the short one's just like half a bookcase, and you have the normal bookcase there. I just alternated them, so I have the tall bookcase and the short one on the top there. And I did the same with that one there. This one in the middle, I have the short one on the bottom and the tall one on the top, because I thought having it up to the ceiling just fit more with the overall look of a library, and a mage would have a lot of tomes and books because they would study a lot of magic. And yeah, here I added two of these short filled bookcases, one on top of the other. And yeah, just a desk here where you'd study and write notes and stuff. I added a map of Western Skyrim just to fill in the wall space there. And yeah, as I said, I added the cabinet to cover the fireplace. And yeah, the dwarven puzzle box fits well with the magic theme. And yeah, over here I added more magical items, like that's just the Scrimshaw ship. Could be like cursed or have an enchantment on it. Same with these coins. They could be cursed, you don't know. And yeah, the Dwemer star chart, also kind of magical. So I just chucked that in. Yeah, soul gems, other bottles and jars and stuff. I added this specimen jar with the eyes in it because it might fit with this tank that I put here. which they could be studying the nether root or making some potion or entity or some life form they might be experimenting on. And yeah, I added the Solitude Patching Kit. It is more for like fixing up armor or clothing, but I added it because it could be like powdered dust or something that a mage might use. And yeah, you'll recognize some of these antique items. I actually, because this is a EU server transfer on the PTS, I actually had to go out and dig up these items. But with the template character, it actually gives you all the leads. You just have to go out and dig them. So yeah, I added the antiquarian items in because there's a lot of cool items and they are magical. And this remnant of the false tower, I think it is from Rivenspire, and I know it might seem weird just to have it here in the middle of the room, but as you can see the blue glow coming from the level above, which is the Alien Well, which I think this one's from Betnik, but I'm not sure. So the Alien Light Well I added here on the top of the tower because I wanted to have something really magical, and this might be like a place where a mage could actually have a ritual, or it could be like the core focus of their powers, or just something that they draw from. So I added that on the roof there. Like, I know it's a weird spot to put it, but I placed it so it is connected to the wall, kind of. Like, I know that bit isn't, but it could still work. And yeah, I wanted to have like a magic rune circle here, but the only one I could think of is the Totem of the 6th house, but that doesn't work on structural items for some reason. So I saw this Solitude rug and it kind of looks like it would be a magic circle or something like that, and I just added some of the elsewhere ceremonial lanterns in each of the corners, and it could be an actual place where you'd have a magic ritual or something like that. And yeah, because this Alien Lightwell's the center of the tower, of the Mage Tower, and the light still continues down here, I thought it would be fitting just to add this floating remnant of the false tower here, which a mage might be studying or something like that. Or the magic from the Alien Lightwell might be coming and going into it. I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead, but it works. So yeah, back up to the tower. So yeah, I just added, I was going to add like a full-on alchemy laboratory up here, but because this tower is kind of small and I was running out of slots by this time, I added the Clockwork Alchemy Station, which is only in the Furniture Crown store, because as you can see it has all the alchemy items on it in one station, so I didn't need to waste slots. Like, I know that is a separate furniture item itself, same with the Clockwork thing there, I can't remember what it's called, And yeah, it's all in one station, so that just uses up one slot instead of like over 10. And it fits well there. And in this little area here, I added an actual place where you'd have the alchemy plant. So I've got some mushrooms here on the wall. I've got like a little planter box here with some flowers in it, and I did like a mushroom box there. So I used the assorted cluster, which I think is only from the Furniture Crown store, and I used the common wheelbarrow, hiding the wheels in the floor there. And I actually put a stone smooth grey rock in there just to make it look like it's dirt or soil, because otherwise if I had removed that and just had the mushrooms in it, as you can see, you'd see the stone floor, so I had to add that in there. And yeah, I just added a sickle, which you can kind of see there, a bucket, and this is a Solitude rain barrel. I know it's empty, but it would be used to gather water, to water these plants, rather than the mage going down to the water down there each time to get water. You've actually got water here in the barrel to water these plants. And yeah, I just added a little table here with a flower on it and some mushrooms in a bowl, which is the Solitude bowl mushrooms. The plant is the flower Dibella's Promise, which is a Furniture Crown store only item. Same with this Solitude skewer. I know this has nothing to do with the alchemy here, but I put that in because I watched a TV show called Curse. It's a Netflix show, which is a take on the Arthurian legend, which I have always loved. And there's a scene where Merlin is in his tower and there's like a lightning storm, and he's holding I think it was a metal rod or some kind of rod to collect the lightning or something like that. So I added that in because a mage might actually use that themselves in an experiment to collect lightning, or use lightning in some sort of ritual, so I thought that fit well there. And yeah, most of this tower like this side bit here, I just wanted a little sitting area up here, or just a quiet area where the mage might want to sit and think about things or do other experiments. And yeah, that's pretty much how I came up with the interior. So yeah, you got the top level, which is where you have the main magical focus, or where they draw magic from, and the alchemy lab. Yeah, the library, magical study area, and more of the living quarters I did on the first 2 levels. And that's just how I worked that out there. So I think that pretty much sums up this tower. And with the pathing of this tower, I didn't really need to add the guard yawn because a mage would have their own defences and that magical wards and all that around the tower, but I added him in anyway just to add some extra life to this build. And yeah, this dragon I have flying around, like he's on the yellow path. It kind of works, but as you've seen probably throughout this build, you see him like going up and down in his path, because I think he sometimes drags off the floor rather than actually flies to each of his destinations. Like he does get up there, he just gets up there, like as you can see there. He was going there and then he went down and then up. I think he actually tries to drag himself along the ground but still flying. And yeah, as I said, it kind of works when he goes up here, but he kind of goes up and down. So I hope with other flying mounts that works better. And yeah, I just have the monkey on the chair here going back and forth. And on the inside I have that imp on the red path. I'm not sure where he is. Stopping at certain locations. Like the food, he might be sneaking things out. And yeah, he goes up to this floor, just stopping at certain items that he might look at. Yeah, got Bureau Dar on the purple path, because he might just be studying magical items. So yeah, Bureau Dar's on the purple path. Yeah, there's the imp. He's looking at the statue there. He stops to look at this. I think he stops here. And yeah, Bureau Dar, because he has the book, he might be making notes on these magical items. Putting books away. Or just writing about things. And Bureau Dar actually does come up to the top floor here. And yeah, I've got him stopping here. Not sure if he stops at that one. I don't think he does. No. But he stops here, and yeah, I've got him stopping outside here. So yeah, pathing greatly adds extra life to homes, and it will be great to see more people adding that to their homes. And yeah, the dragon is flying perfectly up there. It's just sometimes he'll drag off the floor, which makes his path seem imperfect, like he's going down perfectly there. But yeah, just added those extra bits because it adds that extra bit of life to the home when the pets and guests are actually moving around. So yeah, that's pretty much this house in full. This house didn't actually have much inspiration to it. It was just, as I said, it's an idea I've had for a while, and playing around with it, getting it together. This only took me a few days to put together on PTS, because the main thing I like about doing PTS builds is you don't have to think too hard on them. Once you put an item down, it usually stays there. Whereas if I was doing a build on the live servers, I would think about it a lot more, because I want those builds to be perfect, whereas on the PTS, as they get wiped each cycle, it doesn't really matter where you place items or where they would go. So usually once you put an item down, it usually stays there. But yeah, this build, like my Stillwater's Lodge, was a fun one to put together and work out and experiment more with the Solitude furnishings. Like with the bridge, I can now confidently, if I wanted to, make a similar bridge in the future if I want, or if I want to put windows in my builds, I can now do so, doors, roofs. So yeah, that's my Mystical Mage Tower and behind the scenes look at it. I did have a lot of fun putting this together, and it will be a shame when the PTS wipes it, because this is one of the builds I've really enjoyed putting together. Like my Stillwater's Lodge that I did, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I might make a build on that in the future, similar but not the same, because with this build and that Stillwater's Lodge, I have probably used too much of the walls and roofs, especially to make the windows. You use extra slots just to fit the windows in. And yeah, if this was a proper build on the live service, I'd actually spend the extra time to reduce my furniture slots. And for this build, I think I used all of the 600 item limit. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look at this house, and I hope it answers some of the questions you may have had, and I will see you around. Thanks for watching.